Hello everyone. In today's video, we will learn about how to insert a column in LibreOffice Calc and how to make a column bar chart in LibreOffice Calc. If you remember, we did the bar chart before when we were working on LibreWriter, and I gave you a handout on types of charts. If you can review it, that would be awesome. But if you cannot find it, that's fine too. I'll try to post it on Google Classroom. So let's get started. So we will continue working on the file we have been working on, in which we were recording our expenses uh, in the month of March. So to get the file, you have to go to your Google Drive. And for going to your Google Drive, you have to first open a browser of your choice. Like I have to open Google Chrome, and you have to log into your Gmail account. Once you log into your Gmail account, on the top right, you see a 9 dotted grid or a dotted square. Go click there and go to your Google Drive. So once you open your Google Drive, you should be able to find your file. Like this is my file. Um, I don't want you to go and open the file here, because if you open the file here, it will be opened in Google Sheets, and we don't want to open the file in Google Sheets. So instead of doing this, what I want you to do is go right click on the file and say click on this download. Okay. Once you download the file, remember whenever you download the file, it goes to your download folder. So after downloading this file, go click on your file explorer and go to downloads. Should be able to find your file here, and this is my file. And now to open this file, right click on the file and open with LibreOffice. And I did this tab because you are using the computers at your home, and if LibreOffice is not set as a default software, the file may open in Excel. So to avoid that, I wanted you to right click on the file and select that open with LibreOffice. Okay, so now this is the file. This is the same file that we worked on last time, and last time we calculated the net profit. Okay, we calculated the net profit. Here in the file, I have this rent per day, but you don't have this column in your file. So first I'll tell you how to insert this column in your file. So you have food bill and you have a column on expenses. To insert this column rent per day, what you have to do is you either go click on food bill, on top of the food bill, and right click. You see a drop down list. From this drop down list, what do you want? You want a column after this food bill column, or in other words, you want a column to the right of this food bill column. So you go click here, insert columns right, and you get a new column. Or what you can do is you click on this expenses column, then right click, and from the drop down list, you go click on insert columns where. Now this time you want a column before expenses column. So go click on insert columns to the left of expenses column. So that way you get a new column. And here you can see in my rent per day column, I have assumed that our rent per day is $50. So after inserting this new column, at the top right rent per day, and then in each of the cell enter this data that the rent is $50 every day. Okay, so that's how you insert a new column. Now if you see, I have these extra columns which I don't want. So to get rid of these columns, you go right click at the top and select delete columns. Again here, go right click and then select delete columns. Okay, so now this is uh, our sheet after you have inserted a new column of rent per day. Okay, so this is how we insert a new column. Now let's move on to making a column bar chart. Okay, so see all these columns, we have so many columns here, but we want to make the column bar chart between the day of the month and the net profit. Okay, so the purpose of making this column bar chart is to see which day we made the most profit and which day we made the least profit. And in order to do that, what we can do is we can hide the extra columns that we don't need. So we can hide all these columns because we don't need these columns, and then right click, and after selecting these columns, right click, and from this drop down list select hide columns. Now you just have two columns, one is date and the other is net profit. So to make the column bar chart, you select all the data that you want to use in the column bar chart. Remember, do not include this last row where the total is. You do not need this information. So after selecting this, you go and click the insert chart icon from the toolbar. Okay, so here you can see that we have column chart. Why? Because column bar chart is the default chart. So as soon as I clicked insert chart, I got the column bar chart. But before clicking finish, I want you to go here in chart elements, and what do we have on the x-axis? Remember, the horizontal axis is the x-axis and the vertical axis is the y-axis. So what do I have here in x-axis? I have days, right? And what do I have on y-axis? I have net profit, right? So on x-axis I have days of March, and on y-axis I have the net profit on each day. So cut, finish. So here, there you go. This is the chart, column bar chart between each day of March and the profit on that day. Okay, but see, it's too big, right? So just like we can change the size of the image, similarly we can change the size of this chart. So remember how we change the size of the image? We right click on the image, and from position we once we right click on the image, we get a drop down list, and then we select position and size from that drop down list. And from here we have width and height. So what if we try 4 as the width of the chart and 2.5 as the height of the chart? Okay, looks good. Okay, but now see, it's on the chart is on top of our data, so we can hold the mouse and drag it down. Okay, still okay, now it's perfect. Okay, so this is our data and this is the chart. Okay, now the question is, when we have all the data, what's the point of making this chart? We can see the data and we can see this chart. So what's the point of doing all this work and making this column bar chart? If you remember when we did this in LibreOffice Writer, I told you that the chart is a visual representation of data. Okay, so just by looking at the chart, you can tell that which day we made the most profit and which day we made the least profit. So here, this tallest bar, this represents the day when we made the most profit, and this smallest bar, this represents, or the shortest bar, this represents the day we made the least profit. So just by looking at the graph, we can tell that which day we made the most profit and which day we made the least profit. um, so students, that's it for today's video. And I just want to go over what we did in today's video. So we learned about how to insert a column in LibreOffice Calc. And how do we do that? So wherever we want to insert a column, we can either click on the column before that column where we want to have the column, or after. So if I want to have a column before this date column, I can go click on the date column, right click, and from the drop down list, if I want to have before the date column, I say insert column right. And if I want to have a column after date column, I go click insert columns left. Okay. And then we learned how to make a column bar chart. So you select the data of which you want to make the column bar chart, and then you go click on insert chart, and that's how you get the column bar chart. Okay. So before you close the file, make sure that you save the file, and then after saving the file, you upload the file in your Google Drive. So go to your Google Drive, go click here on file upload, and then remember where your file is. Your file is in your download folder because you downloaded the file before started working on that file. So you go to download and go select lesson, and it's uploading the file. Okay, good. Once the upload is complete, make sure to log out of your Gmail account, and that's it. So students, if you have any question, you can post them on Google Classroom, or you can post it on the WhatsApp group. Otherwise, we will discuss them in our session on Google Hangout. Thank you very much and have a nice day.